I'd like to call to order the May 23rd, 2024. The regular board meeting of the Housing Authority of the City of Raleigh. And we need to change that name. This 23rd.
Oh,
But, will you take a roll call?
Eric Braun,
Here.
Valerie Crutchfield is not on, Susan Ellinger, not on, Nia Bonville Swint is not on, Arnie Morris,
Here.
Ahati Matisia,
Here.
Greg Warren,
Here.
Joe Whitehouse, not on, and Yolanda Winstead.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Is there a recognition of visitors?
No visitors. Is Charles on? No, I've got this 6493803. Who is that?
This is Susan.
Oh, hey, Susan. Susan's on.
Hi. Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Susan Ellinger, I'm here.
And we have a quorum.
Okay. Are there any public comments? If there are no public comments, the consent agenda, all items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion and a second. If a commissioner requests an item be removed from the consent agenda, it will be done and considered as a separate item. The vote will be a roll call vote. Item 1, charge off of delinquent residence accounts for March 2024. Charge off of delinquent resident accounts for April 2024. Item 2, no financial statements due to year-end closeout. Item 3, vacancy and turnover summary for March 2024, vacancy and turnover summary for April 2024. Item 3, minutes from March 28, 2024 regular meeting and minutes from April 26, 2024 special meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Eric Braun,
Yes.
Susan Ellinger,
Yes.
Arnie Morris,
Yes.
Yes.
Ahati Matisia.
Yes.
Okay, Greg Warren,
Yes.
Yolanda Winstead. Yolanda is,
Yes.
okay, sorry. The consent agenda has been adopted.
There's no report of the board chair. Is there a report of the board secretary?
Yes.
Yes, I will share my screen. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to talk briefly about some updates. There are a couple of important issues that are coming to the board tonight, the Section 18 application, as well as the relocation plan, both in relation to Heritage Park. So those two resolutions one will be introduced by Kenya Pleasant and one by Laura McCann. So I will not cover those in my report. Laura and Kenya will do so. I want to talk a minute about some communications initiatives, as well as the annual CMAP report that will also be brought to the board for approval tonight, and then a little bit about housing choice voucher utilization and some other updates. First, some comments about our communications initiative. I wanted to just make sure that everyone is aware that the pre-board meetings that we started scheduling last year are continue to occur at noon on the Monday before the board meeting as an opportunity for feedback and to respond to questions on all resolutions as a way of increasing our accessibility to the community. Unfortunately, we have not had anyone attend those, but those will continue to be scheduled, and we will staff it to see and to provide opportunity for the community to participate in this way. Secondly, all board meetings will be recorded from now on and will be posted on our YouTube channel and accessible through our website upon approval of minutes. As you may have noticed, we are rolling out our new logo and brand on all our communications. And our logo and brand has been designed to communicate that we want to be approachable and as accessible as possible. And so I am going to stop sharing this and go to another screen to give you a look at what this looks like on our current website. And oops. Well, I'm having technical difficulties, so I'll go back to the PowerPoint. Well, am I still sharing my screen? No?
No,
Okay.
we go back in and share again.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I wanted to show those, but having difficulty. So in addition to this rollout of our logo and brand on communications, we will have a new website that has been designed, and it will go live in October, later in October this year, as we build out the information on that website. On our strategic communications plan, we have developed, with the assistance of a consultant, a social media strategy that's been presented to us, and I shared with a couple of board members. The social media strategy will be incorporated into our strategic communications plan, which will be brought to the board for approval or adoption at the next board meeting. The goal of this social media strategy is to greatly expand our presence and engagement across social media. In addition to that, Yardi software has been launched with a go-live date of April 1st. And our new software will greatly enhance our ability to engage with our core stakeholders, our residents, our participants, our landlords, and other partners, as well as our staff, of course. Next, I want to just make some remarks about the CMAP report. The CMAP stands for the Section 8 Management Assessment Program. It's a self-evaluation based on 14 indicators and this report is due on May 30th or May 31st of every year, and ours is due next week. Our score based on the self-evaluation is 100%. Now, out of all of those 14 indicators, 13 of them are really more compliance indicators, but one key compliance indicator for us, because of an audit finding in the last year, under this indicator of the percentage of annual recertifications that are more than 2 months old, 2 months late. This year, it's only 2%. During the audit, it was 27%, and we hope those numbers are going to stay true. The only true performance indicator in my mind is the percentage of units leased, which is the indicator number 14. And then the actual score on indicator 13 is instead based on a percentage of our budget spent. So HUD allows us there to pick which indicators is used. And since our budget has the highest score, percentage of budget spent has the highest score, that's what we are reporting. So one of the changes that has occurred with HUD and and with housing authorities, HUD has increasingly focused on this metric of how much do we spend of our Section 8 budget, rather than what I believe is a true performance indicator, which is the percent of units leased. So I want to just talk briefly about, see, no, it's not letting me advance to the next slide. Oops, I might have to reshare, stop share and then go back. Oops. Oh, there we go. So on just voucher utilization, that's the percent of the vouchers that a housing authority leases, and this to me is the measure. It's a measure of the extent to which the housing authority maximizes the number of households served. So in my mind, this is the most important factor and focus of our Section 8 program. And I'm pleased to report that our May utilization of the Section 8 program is 95.6%, which is almost 5% above the January 2023 number. And for context, the North Carolina average utilization is 81.28%. And while our staff has worked hard and they deserve the credit for this increase, key partners in this achievement are the 904 landlords that we have across Raleigh and Wake County. Another encouraging and important number to note is that in the last year, in 2023, the Raleigh Housing Authority housed 301 new households through the voucher program, a major achievement. Some brief other updates: our project-based voucher awards under the RFP that we issued in November. The awards are still pending environmental reviews. 51 of these PBV units that will receive project-based vouchers will become available in the next 3 weeks, and we're hoping that we can get Heritage Park residents ready to occupy some or most of those units. As I indicated, Yardi, our software implementation has been launched. or we've gone live, and it is off to a slow start, but we are working hard with our vendor to make sure that all of our applications are completely usable by the end of June. And then lastly, want to report about our health benefits renewal for this year. Our carrier offered a new premiums at 40% increase, and usually when we go back, they would reduce it some, but again came back with 40%, and Shannon went back to them. Our HR director went back to them and asked for a better price, and we were very surprised that it came down to 15%, which was within the budget that the board approved. What this means is that we will not have to change carriers in the next year, and our staff will be able to stay with their current medical providers. So I'm going to end my remarks there. If you have any questions, feel free. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, this is Greg. First of all, the Section 8 report is really great, and I really appreciate the progress we've made, and just particularly how well we benchmark against our other organizations in the area in terms of utilization. When you mentioned the 300 new households, I'm assuming that's basically 100 or 300 more new vouchers going out from the prior year, not necessarily new participants. Is that vouchers?
Yeah, so it's new vouchers that, you know, were provided to participants who leased up during 2023. And that's not a net increase of 301, because some households do leave the program. So that 301 is an addition of new households housed with Section 8 vouchers for the first time.
So roughly the prior year and this year, total number of voucher holders has changed by 300, or is a little bit less than that?
No, it's less than that, because on an average, 204 households leave the program through one or other reason. So the gain over last year was a net of about 100, or slightly over 100. So
Great, thank you.
I have a question about the project-based voucher awards. So those are pending the environmental reviews. Do you know how long those will take? And are you going to wait until those come back before announcing the awards, or are you going to announce awards subject to satisfactory ESA review?
So the environmental reviews apply only to some of them. Is Jennifer Morgan there?
Yes.
Jennifer, do you mind addressing that question?
Yes. So some of the existing properties, the way the regulations are written, we can't make any formal awards till the environmental and the HQS is completed. And then on the new construction, we are working through those awards and preparing for the environmental and the subsidy layering review. So it kind of depends on what property type it is. So the city's doing some of the environmental reviews, and the county's doing some of the environmental reviews, but they are all kind of in the pipeline.
So I'm just wondering if there's any concern around maybe losing out on some units that you intend to award vouchers to, if that process for the subsidy land review and the environmental reviews take a protracted amount of time and those properties start leasing up. Wow, and they're not gonna,
Sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
we are hoping that's not gonna happen.
okay,
Yeah, we're working with the city and the county, and on the existing properties, there's no subsidy layering review required. So really, we're just waiting on the environmental review to be completed, and we are waiting for the units to be built so that we can inspect them, because we cannot award till they pass inspection on those existing properties. But, we are working to make sure everything flows like it should, and keeping our fingers crossed.
okay, thank you.
Who conducts the environmental review? I mean, when you say the city and the county, what departments?
It's the neighborhoods, I forget the full name. Yeah. So they're working diligently on it, but we did send several of them to them at one time, so.
And then in the county, it's, under Mark. Okay, Maureen.
Okay.
Any additional comments or questions?
Yeah, this is Greg again. Ashley, I commend you for opening up the discussion on Mondays about what's on the agenda. And I'm, not surprised that you didn't get any takers on this invitation. I assume this is not a heavy lift for the staff, or is it, to continue this? I mean, if you don't have any folks listening, is that a problem? I mean, because obviously you just have to book some time in your schedule, but otherwise, if nobody shows up, then you've lost 5 minutes.
Yeah, we typically just end after 10 minutes. It's not a heavy lift on the staff. Typically, only the staff who have resolutions to present to the board on a Thursday, only they attend the meeting, and so it's a good practice run to present the resolutions in advance. But I think I just want to continue that so that it remains an option when people do want to have the opportunity, they can take advantage of that. We'll try to see if there's a way for us to increase our publication of that meeting, but it is on our website. And we have, announced it in the board meetings before.
Hey, Ashley, one suggestion I was gonna have is maybe that's something we can push out over social media to make people aware, like a few days before.
Right. We'll do
It is
that.
shared.
And Katie, you can comment. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I do. I did forget this week, unfortunately, but most weeks what I do is I have a graphic that shares about both the Monday and the Thursday meeting that I share the week prior, and then I share again a graphic that just shows the Thursday meeting. But I really think it would be beneficial to increase those posts, and maybe even do some networking with that to encourage some attendance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any additional questions, comments? We'll move to the report of the RHA chair.
Hi there, this is Greg. We had, I guess, what I would call this was a semi-informal meeting on Friday of last week. And we discussed a number of items, and I think Ashley's going to talk about some of these a little bit later. The Heritage Park relocation plan, I think you'll probably be discussing that related to the resolution. We're going to be, obviously, he kind of gave us a run through on the Section 18 application that we'll be asked to approve later on in the meeting as well. Noted that the Glenwood RAD application is starting. I think that while the committee didn't have a lot of discussion on that, I think that everybody's aware that we'll have to have a good communications plan, because that if the word does get out that maybe we're going to be changing the use of that property or even moving folks out of that property, that there will be a lot of attention to that. Actually, I also talked about city collaborations and county collaborations, and that at times early on in our process, it's been maybe a little rocky, but I think that everybody feels that things are getting better, and much more open communication with city leaders and county leaders. I think this is more at the staff level than the elected official level, where there might have been some just sort of get to know you relationships. And I guess we're also looking for the land swap with Peace College. That's on Ashley's calendar as well. We do have an outgoing president at Peace, and I think he's going to reach out to that individual. Ashley, am I missing anything, or do you want to add any more color to that short presentation?
I think that covers the topics that we have. We have started reaching out and to the mayor quite a while ago and to elected officials about Glenwood, and we will in the next couple of months we'll start meeting with the residents to inquire from them about about Glenwood, what they like about it, what they don't, and begin to formulate ideas around what the future of Glenwood is. But right now we don't have any plan, and we'll create the plan as we move forward.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Any additional comments, questions? If not, we'll go to commissioners' comments. If there are none, there's no old business, we'll move to new business. Resolution number 37. Under tab A, section 18, application for the disposition of Heritage Park.
Thank you. We've made a lot of progress on Heritage Park, and we're now at the point where we are going to be submitting the section 18 application. This specific resolution is just for the authorization to submit the application, not for the official approval of the section 18 application. We have conducted a number of community engagement meetings leading up to this point, including our design workshop that we held at the beginning of the year. If we go back and look at the number of meetings that we had since early last year, I think we've had 11 in total with respect to community engagement. This section 18 application is a part of our strategic plan. It's also been adopted and is a part of our 5-year admin plan. The initial concept plan that was developed during the design workshop was adopted by this body in March of this year. We also have conducted our capital needs assessment, which supports obsolescence and shows that the property meets the HUD definition of obsolescence, which makes this eligible for this section 18 disposition. This is a section 18 disposition only application. It is our commitment where we will retain the long-term affordability for all of the existing residents and continue to provide subsidies through tenant protection vouchers or transfer to other PHA-owned assets. We have also conducted meetings with residents specifically to talk about the section 18 application and the relocation plan, which we will also hear about later. We have had in-person meetings and virtual meeting options. We've posted the relocation plan for comment. All the information has been made public on our website, and we've had a lot of communication with putting information directly to residents with mailings, with flyers as well as via email. We have had, as Ashley noted, we've had been meeting with elected officials, consulting both council as well as the mayor. We have a letter of support from the mayor for this relocation plan, for this Section 18 application, which is part of the requirements for the submission of the Section 18 application. And in an effort to provide as many relocation options as possible for our residents, we have issued the project-based voucher RFP, and we have given priority for those units, for those projects that have units coming online in 2024 in anticipation that those could serve as relocation options for Heritage Park residents. And we are doing a commitment for a 1-for-1 replacement for the deeply affordable units, so that we will continue to have 122 deeply affordable subsidized units when we come back with the redevelopment, and that all residents in good standing have a right to return. Another key component of the Section 18 application is the environmental review. That's being conducted by the responsible entity for us, for specific to Heritage Park, is the county. We also have an updated phase 1 environmental assessment that is ordered, and we expect to have that at the end of the month. That's already in progress. And we have also met with the resident council. We've met with the new incoming president as well as the outgoing president. Last year we had several meetings, as well as we presented and had conversations with the ICC committee as well. And so I think that we're, based on that, we're looking for approval to submit the Section 18 application.
Have you had any, what's been the general response most recently from residents?
I think residents are excited now. I think we have even had feedback from people that this is what they've been waiting for, is the point where we can start talking about actual relocation. There was a lot of engagement that needed to be done to figure out what the plan is going to be. And I think that now we're talking about actual relocation options, and the fact that we have those project-based voucher units that are available now. I think that people can see it on the horizon, as opposed to this being something that's going to take place 2 years from now. The fact that those options are now. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add to that.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I know everybody's worked hard to try to do as much outreach with the community. And I know it's hard to get everybody to show up and hear these things, but appreciate all the hard work.
Yeah, we had a really good turnout. I think that, since I've been participating in this process, we had our strongest turnout at the last meeting. I was getting concerned about space limitations. And we had not as strong as participation on the virtual meeting options, but it was repetitive. We did capture some residents. So I think it was important for us to be able to provide those different types of formats.
I would say that the meeting on Monday with the residents probably ranks as the most positive meeting in since we started meeting in June of last year. They were very attentive and very eager to learn about what the options are, and did not hear really any negative comments about the process and about the options that people have.
Great.
Any additional questions or comments? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move approval of resolution number 37.
Second.
All right, Eric Braun,
Yes.
Susan Ellinger? Susan Ellinger?
Take care of it, yes.
Arnie Morris?
Yes.
Bahati Matisia? Looks like she had to go off. Okay, Greg Warren?
Yes.
Joe Whitehouse?
Yes.
Yolanda Winstead?
Yes.
Resolution number 37 has been adopted.
Under tab B, resolution number 38, Heritage Park relocation plan.
Okay, thank you. The Raleigh Housing Authority is the owner of Heritage Park Community, and we've been working towards demolition and full reconstruction of this site. In order for redevelopment to occur, 99 families will need to be moved off-site. RHA has the responsibility to develop a relocation plan that will guide residents and staff through this process. Because of this responsibility, staff has been collecting feedback from residents and stakeholders. It has been staff's aim to create a plan that was made not just for the residents, but with the residents. To ensure that this plan sufficiently incorporates resident voices, the draft has been provided to the residents, been presented at community meetings, distributed to resident leadership, and is currently out for public review and comment. The proposed relocation plan meets all HUD's requirements and falls in line with the guiding principles and directives established for this project. Staff is seeking board approval to adopt this relocation plan for Heritage Park effective June 1st, 2024. I am happy to answer questions and would recommend approval.
So we adopted for June 1st, 24. Next phase of implementation, kind of, do you have, dates or?
We are working to bring in a relocation team that is going to be overseeing that. The Section 18 application has a lead time of about 60 to 90 days before anything gets approved. And during that, we are hoping to work with what we're calling early movers. But the official start will not happen until HUD approves that application, and then it will be officially go time for the relocation process.
Roughly how long does it usually take HUD? Any idea?
60 to 90 days.
So 90 days.
So we're thinking that'll be probably in the fall.
The early movers still get the relocation.
The early movers will still be eligible for the benefits outlined in the plan. And that is our hope that we can help, one, get some of these families to take the opportunity for the new PBV units we've been trying to bring online. And two, will help with the overall relocation once that plan is approved, just because there will be less families to house at that point and relocate.
Other questions?
This is Greg. I think that one of the points we discussed in the Real Estate Investment Committee was that we are prepared, and I think the plan may reflect this, I didn't read it in detail, that we would pay for utility deposits, some of which may be refundable down the road, and maybe even security deposits for apartments, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there was some discussion as to whether or not we would have the ability and whether or not it'd be worth the effort on the part of staff to kind of track those deposits that we may pay down the road should they be refunded. And I think staff was going to look into that some more. As I recall, the last conversation is that we'd certainly, for those wanting to move back to Heritage, we'd have a better ability perhaps to recapture some of those funds in some fashion. Ashley, do you want to touch on that, or does anybody else in your staff want to clarify anything that I might have gotten wrong on that?
Right. We thought that, when people, once people have been moved off the site, and if they return to the site, that we would, for the security deposits that they will have to pay when they move back, that they will be required to pay their own security deposits. And if they get security deposits refunded from their landlords, they would, they would pay that back to the housing authority. So we will be paying for moving costs, relocation costs, both ways for folks who are moving back to the house, back to Heritage Park after temporarily being offsite during construction. So with utility security deposits, also for those folks who do not come back, we will not request for that funding to come back to the housing authority. But it might still be just a work in progress as we consider, how to handle that based on any, more comments that we get during the comment period.
And there have been no comments received to date, just to follow that up.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval of resolution number 38.
Need a second?
Second.
Eric Braun,
Yes.
Susan Ellinger, Artie Morris.
Yes.
Greg Warren,
Yes.
Joe Whitehouse,
Yes.
Linda Winstead.
Yes.
Number 38 has been adopted.
Under tab C, resolution number 39, CMAP certification.
So housing authorities are required to report on the performance of their Housing Choice Voucher Program annually. They use a HUD tool called the Section 8 Management Asset Program, or CMAP. This is HUD's evaluation of PHA compliance with federal regulation or federal requirements. There are 14 different indicators. Most of them are more compliance than performance. You can get a possible of 135 points plus a 5-point bonus. Attached to the resolution are the HUD forms, a summary, and a narrative describing how staff arrived at the sampling sizes along with comments. These numbers are calculated using RHA's fiscal year, so they will sometimes conflict with other reports from staff based upon funding calendar year numbers. If approved, it will be submitted to HUD by the May 30th deadline. RHA received 140 points with a score of 104, and we did receive the extra 5 bonus points. RHA has been a high performer on the CMAP score since 2008. I'm glad to answer any questions and would recommend approval.
Move approval of resolution number 39.
Seconded.
Eric Braun,
Yes.
Artie Morris.
Yes.
Greg Warren,
Yes.
Joe Whitehouse,
Yes.
Linda Winstead.
Yes.
Resolution number 39 has been adopted.
If there's no other new business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
Motion.
moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. You guys have a great holiday, a very safe weekend.
Yes, and to everyone there, thank you.